Good morning to everybody.
Will you put it on the full screen, please? Yes, thanks.
I'll be talking about how the BNHS bird migration studies are interlinked with disease surveillance. And as you know, BNHS is the oldest organization involving in wildlife research for more than 100 years. And BNHS bird monitoring sites are located and covering all biogeographical zones of India, starting from this Deccan Peninsula to Himalayas. Also, we have got the Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, Gangetic Plain, Himalayas, the Made its own even in the islands. And the multidisciplinary research involves even the applied ecology like impact of windmill and also bird hazard to the aircraft. BNN is known for bird migration and is synonymous with the bird ringing studies, which was started in 1957. But in the late 1960s, we have started the intensive bird monitoring with the funding from the World Health Organization to find out whether the birds are the carriers of the this arthropod virus, which was causing encephalitis in India. But the study shows the birds were not the carriers, but the results were very impressive to put the baseline for understanding the breeding origin of several migratory species wintering in India. Then we also started that intensive ringing in the 1980s with the support of US Fish and Wildlife Service, followed by some state government and central government, and through some CSR fundings, the BNHS is undertaking bird ringing studies all over India. But over 600,000 birds have been ringed, and the recovery says that India is well connected with at least 27 countries which are published in one Indian bird migration atlas. The recovery is also instrumental in marking the Central Asian flyway boundaries, as well as how this Central Asian flyway is overlapping with the East Asian Australasian flyway in the East Coast and the East African flyway in the West Coast. Similarly, after the outbreak of disease, we started the intensive ringing, like when we started this mass scale, large scale satellite tracking when the outbreak happened in China, Jinji Lake, that due to the highly pathogenic avian influenza virus H5N1, where mass scale death happened in the wild birds like bar-headed goose, red-shelled duck. As these birds are coming to India in large numbers to winter, the FAO come forward with the objective of studying the movement of virus through these birds. Hence, that satellite tracking started in 2008. Before that, we also started by seeing the avian influenza outbreak with the support of some state government funding, which particularly we started intensive disease monitoring in Chilka Lake. With by deploying 108 transmitter in 4 states, the first phase from Tamil Nadu, that is Kundangulam and Chilka Lake in Orissa, and the second base Assam and West Bengal. These studies were very helpful to find out that usefulness, how it is very good over that ringing like that, because we used to get the location of the birds now and then, and the major stopover site, and how long these birds are staying in this site for a specific period. And these are some of the states where we did the monitoring, that West Bengal, and also later with the support from the Manipur and the Himachal government and some state and central government, we have marked about about around 27 birds. And these are the breakup for the transmitter displayed, and the maximum birds were marked from Chilka, and then that is then Pongdam also. These two sites we have marked many birds, and then I will be highlighting this some of the interesting observation as this how the satellite tracking that among the species the barred goose was the maximum which we deployed, and that satellite tracking was very successful in satellite tracking, and because it that both the southern tip of India, that Kudangulam and Chilka Lake birds were moving on the same direction, but we could manage to find out the farthest north birds coming to the farthest south lake. That's a kind of leaf rock migration, and Chilka birds are moving less distance comparing to the birds which are coming to the southern India. And again, because we are already started that neck coloring studies and the ringing studies, we could find out the basic of the migratory routes of barred goose, but still the our satellite tracking studies complemented that one. And after starting the satellite tracking in Pongdam, where the barred goose might occur in largest numbers in the world, where that birds are moving only to the shorter distance, and they are between Tibet and Kashmir from home, and they are the, like almost like parochial birds. From movement of this barred goose track from southern India to Mongolia, these are the things we found out. They have got a stopover site in almost 6 states as presented here, and at least 5 countries, and the last destination was Mongolia. The flying height was 21,400, and the maximum distance traveled 5,600 kilometer. Non-stop flight was 1,150 around that one. And also the retrap bird also, even the transmitter mark bird we retrap that after 48 days gained 705 gram, and the usage of various various kind of habitats, particularly this barred goose preferring the grassland and the inland wetlands, also using salt pan as a stopover site and paddy fields, wheat fields. These things we come to know through these satellite tracking studies. Okay, then before that Pongdam studies, we could not we could know that the birds are mostly coming from China and Mongolia and Tibet, but here the barred goose, the largest population is only from a parochial region. This kind of information also we generated that through that tracking. The other interesting species is the radical duck, and here these radical ducks were marked from 4 sites: one from Pongdam, then Chilka, Assam, and Manipur. And all these sites receive bird from different geographical area, which was shown in the slide like that, and particularly the Himachal, that Pongdam marked birds, Pongdam marked birds movement was very interesting, though the nesting site was just 500 to 600 kilometer between the wintering and the breeding site, but it took a circuitous route of another 2,000 kilometers to reach that area, and using the same migratory route to reach the wintering site in the subsequent years. It is quite interesting why they are taking this kind of routes. And also Manipur birds actually moved from China to Mongolia, that one, and this Chilka birds moved only up to Tibet. And then we got a funding from the Ministry of Environment to track the flamingo. Flamingo, we have got already recoveries from Kazakhstan and Iran to southern India, but the studies shows they were moving within India only, and within South India between Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, and regularly they are migrating to northern Sri Lanka during the summer, like 3 years. This is also successfully tracked. The transmitters last for more than 3 years, and we predicted that there could be a local population in southern India which can migrate within southern India also. But this is a important how this pin-tail study shows how they are using different habitat in their annual cycle. We are ringing from the marked in Kanyakumari using arid zone like in Andhra Pradesh, and also Afghanistan, the ice-covered mountain, and finally to go to the Arctic. So this is the way satellite transmitter study can help to identify this one different habitats used during their migratory journey. And already told how BNHS is what associated with the disease monitoring and the Chilka monitoring studies. That time we have got about 2,000 bird death, but it was suspected maybe H5N1, but it was not due to H5N1. We have recorded all the symptoms of the disease with the duck flake and the avian botulism, and these are some of the symptoms we observed. But the symptoms are multi-disease symptom, and this is the statistics for how many birds we have collected or dead or disease, and send the sample to some the veterinary lab, and this and also these are some of the statistics for the avian influenza sample collected and sent to the high security animal disease laboratory, where they are confirmed it is not due to the avian influenza, because this is a slide showing that how our disease monitoring spread over all over India. And then the death, finally we confirmed the death happened in India due to disease or not due to H5N1, and mostly due to the conducted training for the veterinarians and wildlife staff to how to conduct the disease surveillance in wild birds, and then and the training was taken under the Global Avian Influenza Network and surveillance. And but some of the statistic information which I have already mentioned, and that leapfrog migration, there is a local population which is moving within southern India for the greater flamingo. This kind of satellite information which recorded through the satellite tracking studies, and it is some way it is what better. Okay, with that one I stop share. And hello. Slide
Nikita, your audio is not up. Yes, we can hear Dr. Bala. Nikita, we can't hear you.
But you couldn't hear properly during the entire presentation.
We could hear.
Okay. But any question I can.
Yes. Nikita will ask questions. Nikita, we still can't hear you. Yes. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the question and answer session. The first question is from Anuprita. Are there changes in migratory routes of birds due to climate change? Like the Siberian cranes have stopped migrating to India since 2002 or so.
Yeah. With our experience, not through the satellite tracking, but with our experience in handling so many birds per ringing, many species which are occurring in the water, particularly in the East Asian Australian flyway, which is using China as the common stopover sites for both the flyways, but they are decreasing in the East Asian Australian flyway, and they are migrating to India, and their range extension is gone up to the this Gulf countries also, that one, even West Coast and even west to the Gulf countries also. That is a typical example for how the migratory patterns are changing. Hello,
All right.
I'm audible. The answer was clear to them.
Thank you
Hello?
so much, Dr. Balachandran. Since we are, yes, you